Just take a listen to what Chris Larson is talking about when it comes to Bitcoin and XRP and these particular currencies, right? Because they are currencies. So just take a listen.
Like the first time a distributed system in finance, this really could be the final game changer. And if that's true, the amount of money you're talking about saving the world, the amount of money people that can come into commerce is just enormous. So I think what you're going to see is, we talk about why do people here want to use Bitcoin or Ripple. Maybe the early use cases aren't so powerful here. We have a lot of options. But people in Africa and India and China who are left out of the marketplace, that's where you're going to see, I think, the big use. And you may not even see it in like the word Bitcoin or Ripple. You're just going to see a lot of developers building on top of these rails. It might be totally invisible. You just know that it will suddenly be available. Just the way Google became, and imagine if Google had to go ask the New York Times for permission to start a search business, right? It never would have happened. If they had worked through the existing rails of news. They could only do it because they had these new rails of HTTP. And that's what this is.
If you heard what he said, he's talking about how many people are going to be able to come in to the payment system, right? Become a part of the global payment system, which is going to be massive. And this is something that I think we still don't understand. The amount of money that's going to come in because of new people coming into the system, it is very, very massive. You're talking about probably bringing in another 3 billion people, right? So when you do the math, if those 3 billion people were to bring in onto the system another, let's say, $500 into the system due to the jobs that they work, right? So let's just say on average it's $500 a week. I know it's a low number, but I'm going to go with a low number. You're talking about bringing in $1.5 trillion into the system. That's not including what they're going to spend on. So you guys have to understand this. It's their paychecks coming in and then their money being spent going out. How much volume increases. You got to think about it. One other thing for us to think about is the fact that he mentions in the video that a lot of the companies will more than likely use the blockchain technology. The blockchain technology would actually be invisible to the eye. So you're going to have new companies, coming about with the technology, but you would also have companies that exist today using the technology and you will not even know. The only thing you will know is that the way how the company executes certain functions has changed, which will be beneficial to every user of the particular services or products that a company is offering, right? And this word invisible, it's a word that's used a lot by a lot of blockchain creators, right? They're using that term because it's something they really don't want us to know about. They just want you to be able to use the stuff and not know how it's being done. So if you're invested in this stuff, crypto, blockchain technology, you're actually very lucky to be invested in this because they really would like to really hide it from people so that no one really knows. Because as it stands today, a lot of people don't know how cloud works, right? We use cloud every day. We don't know how it works. We use our phones every day to text and call, right? To look on the internet. We don't know exactly how those things work. All we know that we can use it, right? use banking apps on your phone. We don't know how those banking apps work. It's so much things that we use that we don't necessarily know the ins and outs of how it works, but we use it because it has made life easier. So with the blockchain technology, that's the same idea that they have for it. They don't want anyone to know. They just would love for it to just work in the background, do what it needs to do, and things are better.